Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Secondhand Collective podcast, a podcast by two people that use Poshmark, four people that use Poshmark, pretty much about Poshmark. I don't know how many more times I can say Poshmark in a sentence.
Say it one more time.
Poshmark.
Thank you.
I hear that if you say Poshmark 13 times looking in the mirror, you will get an offer.
Oh, yes.
I don't know. I have to try it. But anyway, my name is Stephanie.
And I'm Evan.
And we're the two people that I was talking about a moment ago. This is literally our third attempt at recording this episode, which is bananas. Because it's like we're just talking.
Yeah, but I feel like the moment you hit record, everything you were trying to say just goes out.
It's so crazy. The last time we attempted it, it was like the middle of the night.
It was so bad. And I mean, we're really redeeming ourselves here right now. So
and we're starting it off well, but hopefully this means that the third time is a charm. And
I'm sure you're all just thinking, like, I could not even imagine what a mess the other episode must have been if this is what you're saying is better.
Some people are like, wait a minute. These people think it's that difficult just to talk? Like, I can start a podcast, in which I would 100% say, if we can do it, then absolutely you could do it too.
Yes.
So yeah, this is we're on our second season. 2020 just pushed us right into our second season, and we kind of had like a hey, we're back type episode, just to dip our toes back in the water and remember how difficult it can be to just talk in a recording.
I was telling Stephanie that I had to go back and listen to our old episodes because I was like, what did I used to say? Like, it was just really hard.
Yeah, I listen to podcasts where people, like, they kind of dialogue, like, oh, what have you been up to, whatever. And they literally are now like, what candy have you been eating? Because they're like, we're not doing anything. It's like, what are you watching on TV? Like, did you cut your hair? Like, there's like not a lot of content or like new things. It's like same old, same old. But for us, we thought that we would just share what we've been up to in our 2020 induced hiatus between where we ended, where our first season ended abruptly, and then where we're at right now. Man, someone said that we say a lot, and I am going to say it 1,000 times more because I'm so much more aware of it.
And like, I think that probably is coming from me. So I'm sorry if that bothers you. This podcast might not be for you. Just gonna put it out there.
Yeah. Oh. So, oh man, I'm like so self-conscious. The other one, sorry, I remember being at church camp one time and someone said, just listen. People say the word "just" when they're praying all the time, and I was like, that's so true. People are like, and God, please just, just like, just really just.
Because you don't want to like really like tell them what to do. You're just like, here, let me give you like a little idea of what you should be doing.
Just
a little advice for you.
It was so weird. And then of course, like once they said that, that's any time. And that was probably 15 years ago. And I still, if I hear someone praying, I'm like, oh, ding, 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 like counting all the times they say it. So at least it's like a ding and not like taking a shot, because that would be a rough go.
You'd be blacked out in a second.
Mm-hmm. And then they'd be praying for you.
Yeah.
At the end. Okay. And that was Church Camp Corner.
And now we're back with Poshmark related stuff.
All right. back to our episodes. uh, so we've both had we've had different experiences with Poshmark this year. We were on similar pages in that we were both going full steam ahead. Like, how do we expand what we're doing and how do we get better at what we're doing?
Mm-hmm.
And not to lean into the 2020 thing, but it really was like having the rug pulled out underneath us. I would say everybody, not just myself and Evan. And I have a friend. Oh, you go.
Actually, it was funny. Like I said, I was listening back to some of our old episodes, and I listened to our 2020 goals episode.
Oh no.
And my heart just like sank because we were just like a couple rosy cheek kids ready for the year, like had such lofty goals. And I was like, oh, you guys, you have such a storm coming.
Oh no.
It was so sad to listen to.
This is random, but my friend, we were in Nashville at one point, and we ended up getting stuck in that tornado that happened. And then we came, literally, like, the tornado was 2 blocks away from us. We got on a plane that day, flew back. So I was like in Target, like crying, trying to process like what had happened, while people are panic buying all the water and all the everything, because we were like kind of the beginning up here in Washington State. We were kind of like, we brought it. But it was so bizarre. And I remember thinking, like, being on that plane and feeling like, oh my gosh, this is the biggest thing that's ever happened to me. I can't imagine. Like, you know what it was just so, it felt so dramatic and so like, wow, this is going to be a story.
Yeah.
And then like 2 weeks later, everything shut down. And I was like, wow, that tornado seems like years ago. And I remember texting my friend about it, and he was like, I'm worried about this coronavirus, because he was like, I think it's going to be really destructive. And I just thought, no, it's going to be okay. I was wrong.
You're like, listen here, buddy. I just went through a tornado.
I know.
I don't care about a stupid virus.
I know. But it was just so bananas, because he had he was able to see kind of bigger picture. Same with, and I think I've mentioned it before, like how in the beginning, at least once I kind of was like, oh, this is what we're doing, when we were trying to figure out what to do with our podcast, and Evan was like, well, I don't know, I just feel like we should like not talk about COVID-19. Like, let's just not talk about the pandemic. Let's just talk about normal stuff. And I was like, dude, this is going to be a while. Like, we're not going anywhere for a long time.
I mean, do you expect anything different from me? I like to repress all my
and
feelings and fears.
deny.
Yeah. Like, it's very on brand for me.
But yeah, so it's crazy to think about how none of us saw this coming. How could you imagine? Like, I don't know. It's just crazy to think about, like, a year ago at this time. You never would have imagined that this is where we would be. Yeah. It's so weird. So weird. So, because of that, we did not have neither of us had a pandemic backup plan for our Poshmark, clearly for this podcast.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably for our friendship as well. We went a long time without talking there for a bit.
It wasn't a bad thing.
Yeah, it was just like a treading water thing.
Yeah, honestly, I just didn't have anything to say.
You're like, same old, same old.
Yeah. I did just watch Groundhog Day with my friend.
Why would you do that?
Well, because I was showing him Palm Springs, which is like the newest, like newer version of it with Andy Samberg, and I love Andy Samberg, so I had to watch it. But anyways, so yeah.
Did it feel relatable?
Yeah.
Just like the same old day, every single day?
Yeah. Yeah.
I always feel the need to say this. We are very fortunate that this is the biggest of our problems. So
Oh, for sure. I
I
mean,
will, I
yeah.
feel like, so after the last episode, Evan was like, you already said like that thing you spent 5 minutes saying. You said it last time. And I was like, dang it. But I will say this every single time that we are very fortunate to not be in situations that I know other people are in. Um, and not in a way that's like, oh, we're just so blessed. Like I really struggle with that. The idea of mm, like joking about something that is really hurting other people. So yeah, I just can't let that go unsaid that yes, we are saying that life is the same every single day, but that is also very hard. So lots of hard things happening. And our Poshmarks got hit hard too, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Um, let's talk about what you were doing this whole year. I mean, I'm gonna say the whole year, even though it was technically like 7 or 8 months or whatever. Let's just say the whole year.
Yeah. Yeah. Because honestly, like I said, when I listened back to January, we weren't doing too hot then either.
Hmm.
So, I mean, generally
We
this year is a wash.
we thought we had 11 months to redeem ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Mm.
sad.
Yeah.
So sad. Um, yeah, for me, Poshmark, I mean, it was hard because I wasn't sourcing. I had some things to list, but generally, the fire was gone. And I ended up, like I said in the last episode, I started to do a home decor thing. And so for me, that really became the focus um, for my time, and Poshmark pretty much just went on the back burner. But I have gotten back into it, and starting the podcast has helped because we talk about it and I forget how much I do enjoy doing it. Um,
But you're not sourcing, right?
I'm not,
That's
and
hard.
it's not really the pandemic. It's just I don't have anyone to watch my daughter.
Oh, I
Um,
didn't realize that. I thought it was like a
no, if
personal choice.
no, if I had childcare, her dad doesn't come up right now because of the pandemic. So a lot of the times he would be the one that would be watching her. So
Gotcha.
I lost
I
my childcare.
I didn't realize that. Like that, I don't know why it changes. It doesn't like, it's not in a good or bad way. It just is like, oh, let me look at this differently. Because this whole time I just thought you were making that personal choice for yourself, which is totally fine if that's what you're
Yeah,
doing. But
yeah. I think it's more. I think it's frustrating, more frustrating for me, where it's like I could be going out and doing this, but there's just this like one small thing.
mm,
It's not like, oh, it's this giant pandemic and everyone's in the same boat. It's like this one little thing that I should be able to get help with, but you know.
I mean, I I totally get it. I my stuff is kept on the other side of town at my mom's house, and it's so dumb because it's like just get in your car and drive. And we live in an old apartment building, and you have to carry the baby downstairs and get her in the car seat to then take her to have like nobody there to watch her.
Hmm.
So even though it's like in a house, it still is like I don't want to go down the stairs. I don't want to drive her. Like it feels like a small thing that there are definitely people that are overcoming it, but to me it's like, nah.
Yeah, and I mean it depends on where you're doing, like how you're doing, just in general. you know,
Yeah, true.
some days you're just like, you're lucky I got out of bed,
Yeah.
let alone drive across town.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, I was going to ask you I literally was about to ask you something. And I can't remember what I was going to ask you. Oh, it's probably easier for you because it like you kind of go sourcing for your home decor stuff, but it's not as much of like, is it more like, do I like this thing versus if I don't, versus if you just find something usable? Does that even make sense?
Like, do I really have to hunt for things?
Yeah.
Not really. Um,
I would just think it's a better use of your time. Like if you were to spend an hour sourcing for things for Poshmark versus an hour sourcing for things for your home decor business.
right. Yeah. I mean, all I do is go down to Pendleton and like pick out from what they have. So, and I buy pretty much what I need for that like collection that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I really only have to go once, maybe twice if I feel like I need something else. So it's not really like something I have to do on the regular.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I can easily take Kennedy, my daughter, to,
Mm. Yeah.
you know. Um, so yeah, it's just been a lot easier of a thing to be working on during this time. And I think, at least for me, like with kind of dealing with mental health issues and stuff during this, like being able to channel that into something more creative, where Poshmark,
Mm-hmm.
like I mean, you can be creative with it, but I needed something like a little bit more involved.
Yeah. And I think you would have more control as well. Like if you say that you
Right.
can go one time and pick out something that will last you for months in terms of once you start selling it, right? Is that am-
Yeah, like it's pretty much like one and done for
yeah.
that. Like I go shop and then I'm good for 3 months.
Yeah. As opposed to I know I have gone places and have like gone sourcing and at the end of the day feel like this was a waste of time. I remember the first time, I think I talked about it on the podcast, the first time I went to the bins after Madeline was born and
Mhm.
was there for a couple of hours and I was just like, all this stuff is crap. And I can't believe I left my baby for the first time
Yeah.
for this garbage Forever 21 stuff. So I think, yeah, it makes sense that it would be a lot more efficient of your time and the control aspect too.
Right. And I was able to even when things were actually like closed down, I was able to have them ship me things.
Oh,
Yeah, so I was able to still get items when, like thrift stores and stuff were closed.
without having to just do free pickups from people?
Yeah.
Because let me tell you what I did.
Yeah, let's hear yours.
I definitely did the free pickups from people and like, just kind of put it out there. The the stores are closed and that's how I make my money. So since Goodwill is closed for you too, let me take any donations.
Mhm.
And at the time I was like, and then I'll just send everything to ThreadUp, which I was able to send like 7 boxes to ThreadUp. I say
Oh my
boxes, not bags, because I order the like a box of poly mailers from the USPS. And then that to me is like, okay, there's 100 in here. So when it's empty, that means I can then fill it up with stuff to send to ThreadUp. So it just kind of like keeps things going. So I had like, I think 7 boxes that I sent. And then they like said, we're not taking any more boxes or we're not taking any more clean out kits, which really, really cramped my style
Yeah,
because then
ThreadUp
I
was
was,
like always your
yeah,
backup.
yeah. And a lot of people, that's another interesting thing too, that this is not really on topic, but ThreadUp recently, did you hear about this? They made some changes to their like consigning system.
Like with the pricing and everything.
Uh-huh. And a lot of people got really mad about it.
Yeah, like everyone was freaking out on Instagram for like a week.
Yeah. Well, what was interesting is because I think there's a lot of people that figured out how to manipulate the system and cheat the system.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't say cheat, make it work for them in a way that I guess the same as Poshmark, really, where people buy stuff and then sell it for absurd amounts of money compared to what they bought it
Right.
for. But yeah, so I didn't even know you could change the prices on stuff until they like took it away. I just was like, this is stuff I would donate anyway. So like
Mm,
out of those 7-ish boxes or whatever, so far I've made like close to $80. And I'm like, I was gonna donate it, so what does it matter to me? I just got $80.
right.
Um, yeah, but what I learned in that was that people will donate anything. Anything. Like weirdest stuff.
What was the worst item that you got?
Hmm. There was nothing like super gross or like there were a lot, I mean, and I understand this, there were a lot of baby clothes that were just destroyed. Like beyond comprehension. I can
Mhm.
understand that you have something that maybe has like a little tiny like spit up stain on the top or something, or the baby drooled, or I don't know,
Yeah.
got it nasty, but it's small. This is like everywhere. But then I also was like, well, how are we supposed to get rid of clothes that are just not wearable anymore? Like, what do you do? What's the process? And I still am kind of like thinking that through, because then I was like, well, should we burn it? Like, would that be an efficient way to do it? And then I thought, well, what happens to like the atmosphere then when you are burning clothes? Like, what chemicals are released or whatever? Um, I've just been on this kick of trying to figure out literally the most sustainable way to discard clothes that don't belong at Goodwill or donated or whatever. Like a white onesie that a baby has crapped all over. Where does it go?
I have no idea.
Right? This is my big question. So I'm up to hear what people have to say about this. Um,
Maybe we'll ask on our
yeah, we should
Instagram.
ask on Instagram and see what people say. Um,
I know we could just Google it, but I'd
but I
rather hear people's.
I also think that Google is not going to necessarily give us the best answers, because if you think, I don't know, I think it'd be a lot of work to be like, okay, but beyond donating and
Right.
beyond, also too, like beyond upcycling it, because I'll tell you what I don't want is a DIY headband made from poop cloth from a baby onesie.
What do you mean?
I'll make some for
Send
you
it my
guys.
way.
Listen, this is gonna be my new business. uh, but yeah, I don't know. I got a lot of socks, which was weird to me. I
That's
don't
kind of
know.
weird.
I think like some people are down for it, but I just
Hey, I mean, I see that all the time on Poshmark.
don't even.
There's a man wants some smelly socks.
Or underwear. I got one about
Really?
underwear one time. Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
it's so like they want so much money. I mean, they'll pay whatever.
oh, that's the thing that's so hard about it. Like, I would always, because I have a Victoria's Secret credit card, so I would get the like, you get a free pair of panties or whatever. So I'd
Yeah,
buy. Hate the word panties, by the way. It's so
I was
gross.
gonna say that.
Yeah. Underwear. But I was just saying it like that because that's what it says. Free
Yeah,
pair of panties.
yeah. It's the worst when you walk in and they like start talking about it, and I'm like, I don't know you. Please don't use that word with me.
Yeah, it's so weird. Okay. And also, too, it's like what you would say to a 6-year-old girl. Like,
Yeah, it's very strange. It's a weird word.
it seems very childish. Okay, but anyway, so I would get them, and then because it was just like, I wasn't needing it. I wasn't there to like, you know what I mean? I just would
Yeah,
have this free pair of underwear. So every so often, I'd like put them together and be like, here's 4 pairs of underwear to buy. They're brand new, whatever.
right. Yeah.
And there are people that would be like, how much would it cost for you to wear them for a few days and get them really smelly and then sell them? And I'm like, oh,
You're like, I probably shouldn't, but I gotta pay
I
this bill.
know. I'm like, listen, this could change our life. It's like a name your
Right?
price situation.
Me and my friend, we talked about like feet pictures because that's like a thing, you know. And she's like, that would
Yeah,
be such an easy way to make money, and no
I
one would
know.
know. Like, there's no way to tell that it's you. And I was like, girl,
I
I mean,
know. It's
I couldn't do it, but like, more power to you if you can.
I know. Ugh.
Like, why not just profit off these pathetic, disgusting men?
Oh, it's so weird. I mean, I'm not like to each their own, but it's like if it's not your thing, then it's just hard to understand, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Like I feel like the same way about people that I am a cat and dog person.
Hmm.
Uh, when people are like, "Do you like cats or dogs?" I'm like, "Yes." I can't. I honestly can't choose between the two, but I know people that are adamant that like cats belong in the deepest pits of hell. And I just am like, listen, if that's what works for you, but I don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
have you never felt the original weighted blanket, which is a cat laying on your legs? Come on.
Well, I currently have a cat destroying my hand right now. He's just like biting it.
So, are you a dog person right now?
No, I love him. I think we I don't want to keep saying this, but we talked about this before, and we ran a poll about who's a cat person, who's a dog person, and I remember saying like I think I'm becoming a cat person,
Mm,
even though I'm allergic. And now that I have a
yeah.
cat,
Or a cat
I'm
person.
like, yeah, I'm a cat person.
Yeah.
So
And
much,
I think,
so much nicer.
so I think if you were ever introduced to certain things in the right way, anyway, I'm just saying, I'm not going to hate on anybody's things, but I wish that
But
I,
also, like, don't search out for it from, like, random people.
it's
Like,
all
there's
about
places
finding,
for that.
yes, you want to find the person that is willing and totally stoked
It's all
to,
about consent, guys.
to take complete advantage of your unique situation. But okay, so aside from socks are probably the weirdest. I'm like now going back and trying to remember. I think it's just hard. And once Goodwill's open, we had a conversation where you had said to me, it's hard when you're not sourcing. And
Mhm.
I literally said that to my mom and was like, listen, my mom's name is Linda. So I was like, listen, Linda, it's hard to get excited about Poshmark if I'm not bringing anything new in. And my mom would say like, what about that 5 foot pile of stuff that you've been picking up from people's porches? And I was like, I didn't pick any of it out. I'm literally going like, I guess I can sell an Old Navy shirt over this like Walmart brand white tank top. Like, I guess I'll just list that for $10 or $12 or whatever and hope somebody bundles it.
Right.
And so I I did that for a while and that was really hard. It was fun sometimes. Like one girl I know gave me a bunch of LuLaRoe, which we all know I love LuLaRoe, to sell. And then she also gave me like brand new with tags Victoria's Secret bras, like 4 of them.
Oh, wow.
I was like, what are you doing? This is nuts. Just return them.
Yeah.
But she just was like, I just get them out. And I was like, cool. Literally call me anytime you need to get rid of stuff.
Yeah.
But in it, there still is stuff that I couldn't use. And then with Goodwill being closed, ThreadUp closing down,
Mhm.
like new things, I just kind of had, and I still have a lot of stuff. So it's been it's been interesting, and I think I definitely could see in my sales and I don't know if this is related necessarily, but almost like when the stimulus checks stopped rolling out,
Mhm.
I could tell that. Like I was like, "Oh, last wave of people just got theirs." Like or not just got them, but the last wave of people have just finished spending their stimulus checks.
Right.
And so it was like regular summer slowdown anyway. And
Yeah, I noticed that on just like Instagram and stuff a lot in like the probably more like towards the middle and end of summer. A lot of people were just like, it's dead. Like no
mhm,
one is buying anything. And I was like,
yeah,
yeah, like the like quarantine online shopping fun has ended for all of us.
Also, too, like, this is so weird. When I was at the bins the last time, so we got in trouble, and our governor grounded us again. But our stores are like, they now operate at 25% capacity. And so the day I read about that on Reddit, like on a Saturday, there's a Reddit thread that said, heads up, tomorrow our governor is announcing more restrictions. So I was like, cool, guess where I'm going in the morning? I'm going to the bins, and I'm buying as much stuff as I can. And there are a couple other people that are resellers that were there talking about that as well.
Mm.
But I found some stuff, and I was like, this would be so cute for the holidays. And I was like, who's wearing stuff for the holidays?
Yeah.
I was like, not me. If I could find some more athleisure, that would be good. But
I'd buy Christmas pajamas.
pajamas, see?
Yeah.
I was really actually excited to find Christmas pajamas or like Christmas t-shirts because I was like, I probably would skip over them on a normal year, but this year I could see being like, hey, I'm wearing a Santa t-shirt.
Right. You're like, I'm putting effort into my life right now.
Yeah, I feel like connected to the world as a whole because I'm wearing something that is relevant. I don't know, it just seems different. And sometimes when people have been buying stuff that are fancy things, like I couldn't see it. It's not like a workwear attire because I know some people are still going in to work, so they're still needing office attire. It's not that. I'm like, what are you doing? Where are you wearing this? And I just kind of want to like
explain yourself.
That's a note that's like, excuse me, can you please tell me what life you're living right now? Because I'm not, and I'd really like to know. So it's just, I don't know, that's been an interesting thing just to think, like, to me, I'm like, who's shopping right now? And then I also am like, I can't wait for my 15 packages to come in the mail. I told Justin last night, this is so dumb. I'm about to, okay, tangent city over here, but I bought a pair of the faux leather Spanx that are like bloggers always talk about them.
Okay.
And so actually this goes back to getting things for free. Somebody gave me like some free bags, and in it were a pair of like a knockoff pair of those leggings. And I was like, I'm probably not going to like them. Well, lo and behold, I loved them.
Nice.
And lo and behold, they got ruined real fast because I think I wasn't supposed to dry them or something.
Oh, yeah.
And I was so sad about it. But I was like, I wore them all the time. And I was constantly like, ooh, I can wear those one leggings. So they were like way too much money on Nordstrom. But I bought them. And I didn't tell Justin for like 3 days. And last night, we were like going to sleep. And I was like, I just have to tell you something. I was like, the problem is that I was then like, well, I had them shipped to like Nordstrom Rack so I could save on tax. So I was like, how am I going to explain the need to drive to Nordstrom Rack and pick something up? And then he'll be like, what are you getting? Not like in a rude way, but like, oh, what are you picking up? And then I have to lie. And then what if he sees them and is like, I thought that you got rid of those leggings because they got ruined. And then I'm like, what do you do? So, but I told him, I was like, I just feel like right now people can't come visit me. Like I'm not seeing people. So it seems like when I order things online, they come visit. They come to the door. I was like, this is so pathetic. And then I was like, oh, I understand people shopping on Poshmark right now.
Yeah.
But
it's the little things that keep us going.
Yeah. So I feel like I just kind of have been doing my very best with what I have. And remembering that even though to some extent my life looks the same every day. I still wake up and have my daughter and still don't work from my apartment and all of these things. It's still happening in kind of crazy times. And I just do what I can. But it's been really, really difficult. And I think it's been really hard for me to see people on like Instagram. And we've talked before about how I'm just a lot more sensitive to this anyway. But seeing people on Instagram that are like, $500 sales day. And I'm like, what? I literally made that all of last month. And that's not including my expenses. And this is my main source of income.
Yeah.
So I think that the comparison game got really, really bad for me for a while. I think too, especially when people were still outsourcing and I wasn't. Like we couldn't.
Right.
That was rough. But I don't know, just doing what I can.
Do you feel like things are starting to get a little bit
Oh yeah.
better for you?
Yeah. I don't know what has happened in the last couple of weeks, but I have been cashing out. I kind of think there was like these glory days, maybe after Madeline. I don't remember when it was, but there was a while when like every week I was cashing out a substantial amount of money. And then it's been like, we're talking like double digits, which I know some people are stoked about. But for me, that's, like I said, my main source of income, and that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that I've been like, it's been going up. Like what I've been cashing out each week has been higher than it has been probably since before Madeline was born. I would say September of last year. She was born at the end of September. And I think I really went hard, like kind of trying to push some momentum up that might kind of help me glide through having a baby. But yeah, it's gotten better. I think I have been more gentle with myself too.
Yeah.
Like you had mentioned mental health stuff. And I think just kind of like not like kind of guarding myself from my own terrible thoughts about what I should be doing, what I should be making. And like sometimes when I think about like, for example, setting goals on Poshmark, really all that I can ever do is list a certain amount, relist a certain amount, rephotograph a certain amount. If I really, really, really needed it, measure some things. But I can't force people to buy. Those are the only things I can do. Share my closet, that sort of thing. So I just focus like on what I can control. And yeah, but I definitely think it's started to turn around for me. But I've also been putting more work into it now. So yeah, but it's weird. I think I can definitely see why for you in this time. And that's like what I had told you a little bit earlier, saying like you have more control over it, is you still have the same thing where you can't force people to buy your stuff. Like you can't make it happen, but you have more opportunity to do whatever you want with it.
Right.
You get to create a discount code. Like I saw that you ran like a Black Friday sale. And you got to, like, people could just use it easily as opposed to making a Black Friday sale listing and then having to share it 15,000 times or to people's bundles
Right.
or,
And I've also been selling, like, not even just on my website. I've sold at our friend Jordan's barn sale, and I did a pop-up thing.
Yeah.
Like, I've been able to take it other places as well.
Yeah.
Which makes like a huge difference.
Would you ever in the future like take some of your stuff to Jordan's barn sale? Your Poshmark inventory?
We've talked about it before. She really only focuses on like vintage, and I don't really pick up vintage.
Yeah.
So Yeah.
What about stained Carter's white onesies? Does she have a market for that?
You know what? She's good on that right now. She's got a ton set up for this
Oh man.
Saturday. But if she ever runs low, I'll tell
Yeah,
her
if she
to
needs
reach
like
out to you.
if she needs like a summer line, I think I have some tank top versions.
Well, she is starting to shop for summer, so you should reach out.
But really, and we said we'd be short, but this is going long. But do you think that you would ever like figure out ways to use what you've learned with your home decor business and try to like get the clothes you have for Poshmark to like be used in those similar ways? Does that make I'm always like, does that question make sense? Because I
Yeah,
know
I
I'm
mean,
not good at putting
I
sentences together.
I feel like I say that all the time too. You mean like selling it like outside of Poshmark
Yeah,
or like
like
outside of the internet?
yeah.
Um, I mean, it would be kind of cool. I know that I have seen people doing that during this whole thing with everyone pivoting. Um, they're like selling at little markets and stuff.
Mhm.
But again, I feel like the stuff that they're selling is either like vintage or, things that they've upcycled. But
Mhm.
I think it would be cool to, oh my gosh, it would be so cool. You and I should open a consignment store or
I
like
want to so bad.
we should totally do that. I already have a plan to open a store with Jordan, so why not have one with you?
Okay, but listen, this is my thought, especially because if there's two of us, it makes sense. Literally, I'm always like, okay, what I need is just an employee that will stay there and
Oh
like
my
run
God.
the shop
Jordan
because
literally said that to me.
I just will go to the bins and get all the stuff. And then I just wash it and I steam it and then I come and tag it and hang it on a hanger.
Yeah. Um, we will make this work. I'll hold down
I'm
the fort.
I'm probably that's like way too many details. Like if you can figure out 97% of that, I'll just continue going to the bins. So if you figure out a way for me to do that, I'm in, but I'm not good at any of the other stuff.
I'll make it happen.
Cool. I'm in. But or like, have you ever put your Poshmark, sorry, this is the end of this conversation, just so everybody, we are wrapping up, but I am really curious. Have you ever like put your Poshmark listings like in your Instagram story or in a post or anything?
Like tried selling through Instagram?
Not selling through Instagram specifically so much as like just listed in my closet.
I used to do that a lot when I was just doing Poshmark.
Oh yeah.
Um, pretty much every time I would list some stuff, I would like put a highlight of what I liked or whatever.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't remember that.
Well, you obviously weren't paying attention.
I honestly, because in the timeline of our friendship, we were friends for like kind of really actual friends for like maybe 2 months before Madeline was born, and then I had a baby, and then everything else happened. Right?
Yeah.
Would you say that's accurate? So
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
yeah, for
not
sure.
my fault.
No, and honestly, I don't pay attention to the things that people post. Like just listed, I'm like, I'm not gonna buy from you.
Yeah,
Like,
same.
I'm gonna go get my stuff cheaper.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I used to promote it a lot, and I want to go back to that because I don't want to like completely ignore Poshmark because I do still really like it, and sales have been coming in. The 2 sales that I got, which is more than I've had the past month, so great job, Evan.
Do you
But
think
yeah.
if you had someone to watch Kennedy and you could go sourcing, do you think that you would start putting more time into Poshmark?
Oh, yeah,
Because that
100%.
does seem like a really, really big part of it.
Yeah, no, I definitely wanna do it. It's just, like, I don't know. I mean, I do have some things that I could list, but it's just that, like, do I wanna list things that I kinda hate,
Mhm.
or should I just keep working on my home decor stuff? And right now, it's just like, I like making the home decor stuff, so I'm gonna stick with that
Yeah.
until I can find stuff I'm actually, like, proud of picking up, not just, like
Listen,
yeah.
At one point, ThreadUp's going to open their doors again. You just put it in a box and you send it, and you maybe will make $7 off of it. But
it's better than it sitting in my room.
It's better than a stick in the eye.
Hey,
I know.
you brought it back.
There it is. There it is.
We still need to make merch.
Oh, that says that. But wow,
so good.
I will say that even though we've had this conversation 2 other times,
Mm-hmm.
I actually learned more this time.
You know what? I feel like we're not completely dead. Like
Yeah,
the last few times we were just so tired.
And we didn't really we didn't know how to end, and that's why we kept talking. But now I'm like, oh no, I can feel it coming to an end, but I just need to be like, wait, I want to know this. Wait, I just have these other few little loose pieces of paper to tuck in this file folder before I put it back in the cabinet. That's what it feels like.
You guys are witnessing us remembering how to do this. How to ask questions, how to talk about a certain topic.
A recorded conversation. Hopefully it just gets better from here. I also want to say too, if you're hearing this right now, thank you, first of all, for going on all those tangents and sticking with us. We literally said this was going to be a short recording.
Yeah.
And I know it's not. But I feel like we kept going back and forth. And by that, I mean, I think you kept telling me. And I kept then mentioning out loud to Justin and then not texting you about it. How we were like, there are so many people that listened to our last episode.
Oh my gosh, I know. So many.
And I was like, literally none of them were me. I haven't listened to it on the platform yet. So that was really, really cool. And it can sometimes feel strange because it's like, oh, I'm just hanging out talking to Evan and recording it. But it's like, no, we have kind of friends that are eavesdropping. So
isn't that the best way to hear a conversation anyway?
Heck yes. One day I'll tell you about the time I live tweeted a first date at Starbucks. It was the best.
God.
It was so good.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's really good. But I was so excited, and I think for having been gone for so long, and listen, we're not like pros, clearly, but to see that and I also should say I never look at the analytics anyway. But I just was like, wow, that's so many plays. That's so cool. It's not tens of thousands or anything, but it's a lot for us, and it means a lot. So thank you for listening, and please reach out somehow because we know you're there, and I just want to be like virtual hug or something.
Just talk to us on Instagram.
Yeah, for sure. And if you just want, you could just kind of live respond, open a note or something. You'd be like, at 1 minute and 15 seconds I said this and it was so stupid, and then you can just tell us and we'll probably be like, I know it was weird, right? Okay, I know, I wish you had been there to tell us to stop talking, but
just point out all of our flaws. We love it.
It's great. Yeah. It's better than us doing it to ourselves.
Yeah.
It's probably actually not really, but so thank you again. It's really good to be back.
It is.
I think for me, it's my ability to create something.
Oh, for sure. This might not be great, but I feel like I'm doing something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And isn't that what life's about?
That's literally, if you were to sum up my life, what would be on my tombstone when I die? That's probably it. So, yeah, you can find us on all the social media at the SHC podcast, and you can listen to our episodes on probably wherever you're listening right now. Also, a big podcast that I listened to had an episode, and they were like, we're now on Pandora, and I was like, my podcast has been on Pandora since before yours.
So they just want to be like us.
Yeah, they made a comment about, like, I don't remember what it was. They made some comment about it that was, like, if you kinda want, like, the Russian roulette of podcasts or something. It was really funny. It's
And
funny.
and as always, if you do listen to us on Pandora, we
We're
would
looking
love to
for you.
meet you. We wanna
Yes.
know what type of person you are.
Yeah, and that's not in a bad way. We just really
No, no, I admire you.
yeah, but thank you again for being here, and we will talk to you guys soon.